Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pizza's and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert, and we are grateful for you to be joining us first thing on this Tuesday morning. Happy International Women's Day to you, Jack. How are you feeling?
Good. Yeah, well, I mean, as I was saying backstage, I feel like a woman. A little bit of context. I'm experiencing my monthly cramps of life. But I feel great other than that. I feel great. We're up. We're awake. We're about to celebrate some amazing things in the women's community. So I'm all about it. I'm all for it.
Love to hear it. I mean, love that, not that you're feeling pain, but I feel that you're ready to, celebrate all things women. So we're just going to get this episode started with our trend report. So as we just mentioned, it is International Women's Day. So we want to know, how do you plan to celebrate, Jacky, other than trying to sort out your cramp situation? How do you plan to celebrate International Women's Day today?
I actually have lessons all day, and most of them are, well, I have one where it's at lunchtime and it's with some women. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be some good jokes and giggles over there. And then, just being authentically myself, and anybody that says otherwise. It's International Women's Day. Do not task me today.
Don't task Jacky any day. Like, I feel like today she's just going to go on another level, because I feel like she would do that to you regardless.
It's like your second birthday, right?
All women, this is your second birthday. I actually didn't notice anything in the paper, but I have been a little bit disconnected these last few days with the move. Normally there is an event at City Hall. There was one last year physically. The year before it was virtual because panorama, I'm going to be interested to see if they're going to have the event again this year, because group events have been granted 200 people, I believe.
I think it is because somebody that's supposed to be getting an award or celebrated, I think that they said it was at City Hall today.
So I'm going to be interested. I'm going to try to pop by if I can.
I think they said it was between was it 12:30? I think it was between 1 and 3, maybe.
It's normally around lunchtime.
Yeah, it was right smack in the middle of my day, and I was just like, I can't quite get there. I'm
gonna check it out.
Yeah, go for the both of us.
I'm gonna try. Let me see what the schedule looks like, but I'll definitely try, because I never get a chance to go because my job normally does something. But this year we haven't done anything on actual International Women's Day, so I might try to pop out and see, because I do have an errand to run. So we'll definitely see if I can assist in that respect, and I'll give Jacky a trend report live from City Hall. Or maybe I'm just kidding.
I was like, yes, give me a laugh.
That is hilarious. Okay, so moving on to our next trend report topic. So, it's kind of in line with the guest of the day that we're going to be talking with. So last week, Jacky and I saw an article in the Gazette, the Daily, with respect to our senior women's national coach speaking out about, hoping the government will change some of the restrictions, allow for our national women's team to play at home next month, because they do have, I believe, 2 World Cup qualifying matches, and one could potentially be played here at National Stadium. And there has been a bit of back and forth, I guess, with respect to the logistics that are required to, host this game. And so we just want to know, Jacky, I want to know personally, and we obviously want the audience to chime in as well. Do you think government should make some provisions specifically for our national team to play at home? Because I feel like there's been like a blanket kind of policy for all things sports. But then there have been special provisions depending on the sport, depending on the event. So I'm wondering if we think our women's national team should get a little bit of play.
I like how you worded that, but yes, I'm actually sick of our athletes and our kids not being able to experience certain things. We're about to have May 24th. We're about to have Carnival. Unfortunately, I see that the egg show canceled. And I actually hurt my feelings because I want to take all the kids, but I can't. And I think that at some point we have to get back on track when it comes to international events like this. This is huge, huge. When's the last time that we've seen our players play a world-class event in Bermuda. I'm really trying to think of the last time a football game was held in Bermuda. What was it, like 3-4 years ago?
Girl, don't ask me, but I just know I wore this jersey there.
Right. I'm trying to remember, but I think that they need to sort it out. If America's Cup was coming, they'd be all for it. Sail GP, all for it. So at what point do we do for our
I'm really hoping, and today is a good day for them to do it too. Like, I don't know, because sometimes the PR's a little bit off. Sometimes they're not reading the room right. Today would be a great day to announce what they're going to be doing, especially in response to our women's national team head coach, because the story's been out there since last week. This isn't technically a news story, so they've had time to like digest it, maybe make some calls, make some provisions, and just like let's give these women something. I feel like they deserve.
If they're really on the ball, they'll let a fellow female announce to the women that they get to play in Bermuda. Not like
they should get was Senator Simmons who had that little conversation with Marcus Chance. They should let her do it. Yeah. That would be it.
That'd be good.
Don't be petty like Jackie and I. Okay? Go about it the right way. Jackie and I. Eyes up.
And you want it? All right, cool. But a man's gonna tell you and give you permission. Like, what? We don't want it no more. No, I'm just kidding.
Real women, I don't want it no more. You don't want food, but you eat someone else's food. That's exactly what happens.
I order my own food. I'd be like,
I'm independent.
What do you want? You want X, Y, and Z? But I want A, B, C, D, E. And I'm getting it all.
So we're getting that. All jokes aside, I definitely think that, it's time for our women's national team to get, I guess a similar type of, I don't want to say they're not respected, but I do think that they should get a similar just when it comes to being able to play on certain stages, because the team is doing well. I believe they under 20 team just came back over the weekend. Like women are doing great in not only football but sports in general on the island, and we definitely need to be celebrating. Flora got her heel. We need to just keep the trend going from now until forever, so that more student athletes, whether they're women specifically or men, see that there is something to look forward to and not just
I'm women to be granted the same access and the same experiences as the man. You see the man going all over the place, and it's constantly being reported on, and then you find out about the women or the young girls after the fact. Nope. Tell me months in advance, give them their interviews. I miss when they used to go and interview everybody. So you used to read the paper, or you'd see a little article, a little pop-up on ZBM. I miss that stuff. I haven't seen it in a while.
Don't worry, Jack. We're going to bring it back. We're going to have to. We're going to force them to bring it back by having more of these conversations. We're going to be all over the face. That's going to happen.
I said I want it.
On that note, Jackie and I are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our guest of the day. We have the chair of the Women's Committee of the Bermuda Football Association, Charryse Bean, is backstage. We're going to be talking about all things women's football, her journey to becoming the chair, and all of that good jazz. So make sure you stick around. Jackie and I will be right back after this commercial break.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lemon. If you're just joining us, go ahead and take a minute to share this episode wherever you're watching. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and react. For those of you on YouTube, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to all of our cheaps over there on Twitter. Make sure you run up this horse and retweet this episode, because we are about to have a conversation with the chair of the Women's Committee at the Bermuda Football Association, Charryse Bean. We want to welcome her to the conversation. So those of you that are watching, go ahead and drop a good morning greeting to her. Drop your favorite football emoji. I mean, you have to type soccer in the phone, especially an iPhone, if you want the little football emoji to come up. We're going to have a conversation with Apple shortly to sort that out, because it's ready for football nonetheless.
I'm like, why are you typing in soccer?
America. Yes, we have to work on them. We gotta work on them. Without further ado, let's bring in Charryse into the conversation. Good morning, Charryse.
Morning. How you doing?
We are wow. How are you this morning?
I'm good, thanks.
That is good. Now I know, you just got back, so thank you for joining us first thing this morning after traveling. We just want to jump right into the conversation. First of all, obviously, congratulations on becoming the chair of the Women's Committee at BFA. How does it feel to not only be in that role, but to have women's football coming back?
Um, it's a really good experience to be in the room. You get to sit at the table and hear, what is going on around Bermuda with, domestic football and also with international football, especially in regards to women's football. I've been in the role since 2017, I believe, or 16. I'm an executive member on the Pembroke Hamilton Club's the PHC board. I've been there for a good while. So I'm excited to actually get women's football back up and started in Bermuda.
I love that.
So talking about getting it back up and started, what has the process been to get the women back out? Has there been any major hurdles or pushback?
Okay, so well, I guess what you could say is a good thing that happened in Bermuda is that we got many of our girls or women, our ladies, who are now starting to move away to school, boarding school earlier and things like that. So in 2014, I think was the last time we had 11-a-side football in Bermuda. We had about 4 teams, and that's when the numbers started to dwindle. More girls were going into college. More women, were going to college. More women were starting families and things like that. And so we started to have a drop in football. And so we had to recalculate and say, what can we do to get it started? What we noticed was that there was a break in it. If you look at the pyramid, there was a lot of women's team, and then there were no girls football teams. And so when I started in like 2016, 2017, Vance Braun came to me and said, we need to build the bottom so that we can continue to flow into the women's football program. We knew that it was going to take a couple of years to get this going. We knew that we had to start over. We knew that we had to bring the girls program and get it stronger first before we could launch a full 11-a-side women's program. We've had, 7-a-side games and special tournaments during the last few years. COVID stopped a lot of things, that put a stop to the world. But we continue to move on with our strategic plan to have, women's domestic football start back in 2022. So it was a strategic plan. It wasn't just, thought of, last week, but we had is in our strategic plan that by 2022 we would have a domestic league back up and running.
That is awesome. Now, we did have a conversation with Mark Wade on the Daily Hour last week, and he touched on this a bit, but he didn't want to go into too much detail because he said he didn't want to steal your thunder. So can you tell us a little bit more what we can expect to see from our women's league? Because it's launching next month, correct?
Yeah, so we're looking to launch, like you were talking about earlier, we have a actual, home game in Bermuda, April 12th. And so we're looking to launch right after that, spring off of the girls league, spring off the women having a home game in Bermuda, and start at the end of April, beginning of May, a women's league. What we're doing right now is taking registrations in. We understand that some women are not associated with clubs. Some women are not, they work in exam companies and they're here for a couple of months, and we're inviting all women to come out and play. So what you can expect is that we actually went out to the women and said, what would you like? We don't want to try to push something and people are not comfortable with it. So we said, they came back and said, we want to have 11-a-side football. We don't want to have small-sided games. We want to play a full football match. And so we're going to have Friday evening matches and Saturday afternoon matches. We're hoping to get at least 6 teams. We have a few clubs who have said yes right away. They're signed on. So we have Denny Town, who said, yes, we would love to put in a team. PHC, yes, we'd love to put in a team. 40 Kings, who are calling themselves 40 Queens for this. Yes, we're going to put in a team. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And then we have people who have sent emails of interest. So from there, we'll send back to them. There are the clubs that have teams, and we'll go from there. We're also encouraging people that would like to start a team to also enter into it.
Perfect. Are there any limits on, do you have to have a minimum number of people to your team to get started, or can you just like kind of club just say we want to have a team and then figure out the player situation afterwards?
So what we did encourage the clubs to do that. We said to the clubs, listen, if you are interested in having a team, make it available, put it out there, so you would see on Summits' actual social media. They have, they're interested in starting a team, PHC, like I said, Dennytown and other clubs. So put it out there. We'll help get the women to you. We have at least maybe 20 women who have signed up and said, I don't even know where to go, what teams have it. So for us now, show the interest, and then we will support as much as we can to make sure it happens.
Gotcha, Calvin.
My favorite part about that was that you went out to the athletes and asked them what they wanted, because most times you deal with associations and they're just like, this is what we're doing, get on board. And it's just like, but aren't you doing it for us? And shouldn't you ask us what we want and how we want it? Because most times the players have experienced it and they're like, okay, so that doesn't work for majority of us. We've all talked about it and this is what we have to reply with. But I love hearing that you guys are not just forgetting that it's for them and the sport and just running with it. But talking about women and sports, most times we are forgotten. We don't get the support that is necessary. So to hear that you guys are on board to support, that's amazing. But why do you think that women's sports as a whole don't really get this support that we'd hope?
I think it depends. Like I said, for me, I look at different sports and I say we have to have the conversation. We have to have that hard conversation of what is equality and what's equity. You can give two people a ladder. If it's the equal ladder, they're not going to always reach the same position. But if you give a person a ladder that gets them to the same level as that person who's a little bit taller than them. So we talk about men's sports, you get, who technically around the world get more funding. We have to be able to say equity instead of equality sometimes. So for us, small steps, FIFA, CONCACAF have been supporting women's football a lot. FIFA injected $500,000 into the program. A lot of people said, oh, wow, what are you going to do with that money? And we literally sat down and broke it down between girls, women's programs, domestic football, international football, providing these things. So I think in football, we are continuing to get support. We know that, again, equality and equity are two different things. But we're going to take everything that we can get and build on it. In other sports, I guess, especially in Bermuda, with football being, the sport, it is the national sport. It is a little bit different because I do hear from, netballers and saying, we wish we had the funding that you have and things like that. It's about getting out there. It's going to be a lot of hard work to get sponsorship and things like that. But if we show what we have, if we continue to, I guess, tell our story, we will be able to push these limits and get the sponsorships and commitments that we need from the actual local organizations.
Now, my question is going to come back to the whole sign up process, individuals that want to sign up, people that want to come out and support. Now, what about the women that haven't played football in a couple of decades? They ain't got the skill set like they used to have, PV, but they really do want to come out. Do you encourage them to come out, and what are some things that they can do to maybe get themselves mentally and physically prepared for the women's league?
So we've had that question also. Are you going to have a league for those type of people, or what are we going to do? So what, like you said, small steps. So we started with the girls football, when we first started back in 2016, 17 or 17, 18, we did a central football program, and we had 200 players. And now we have up to almost 400, 500 youth players. So for the women, what we said we would do is we encourage them. Do you want to be an ambassador? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to help out any way you can around and help this league go on? Do you want to sponsor? But if they do, I know each program have started, we're offering field space availability for training for teams and for even and possibly getting coaches to come out and help out with those ones who are not in the team yet, just to see if they still want to have a kick. So yeah, we're going to try to support as much as we can. They do have in the men's, I guess, if there is a walking football for men, I believe they have it at Bermuda College. It's not under the Bermuda Football Association. A group of guys get together. And so we talked about that also. Possibly, can we do that for people that, they're little extra or not as much activity as the young girls that are going to be running up and down the field come in May.
Got you covered. Got you
Yeah.
covered.
I do want to go back to your grassroots program to try and get the girls into football a little bit more. Can you dive in a little bit more on what that looked like?
So as you can imagine, with girls, we compete with dance, we compete with netball, we compete with a lot of things. Girls are into a lot of sports. And so what we decided to do is we're going to have our program start in the afternoon. We were very cognizant of our league. It runs the same time as netball. And so we had to look at their schedules. Sometimes they conflicted, and it was hard because, we're competing with field space with the boys program, which is, triple our program. But, we compete with those programs. And so we decided to start Saturday afternoons and not in the morning, so they can still go to dance in the morning. Some of them, you see, they were rushing to football with their ballet outfits on and the tutus on, or they're rushing to football right after netball, or they're rushing from football to netball. And so we try to work and look at different things. My team, my women's committee actually looked at different things and said, this is probably the best time to do it. And we centralized it. So we have it only at a few fields and not a lot of fields. So we have it at Bermuda Football Association, Clyde Bass Center. We have it at Work Academy. We have it at Soltis Field. And yeah, that's the 3 fields that we use right now.
I love that you decided to keep it central, because if you're playing netball, you're right over there. If you got to go to Soltis, it's like you just walk over. It's not too far to travel, and parents don't have to figure out that whole carpool situation, because you could just walk, just stay on the sidewalk, you'll be fine.
There you go.
So now, from your perspective, what's next for women's football and sports in general on the island of Bermuda?
For us, what's next is we're going to be hosting coaching courses. So we have the players, we have the coaches that are enthusiastic and they're ready to help coach, and they're ready to do things. And so we decided we want to have a coaching program that deals with how to coach girls, how to coach women. It is a difference. Some people may say, oh no, there's no difference. But just like Jackie was talking about, of having her monthly, and how do you deal with it as a coach? Because some coaches don't realize that, that especially we have a lot of male coaches. There's not a lot of female coaches. We'd love to have more. We're encouraging more. But we want to have a coaching program coming up in the next few months. And we're going to encourage all persons that are interested in coaching women and girls to come out and participate in it. Like you said, we're starting the league. We're continuing to have our programs participate in national programs, participate in the CONCACAF and FIFA qualifying tournaments.
I love that. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, I came off one plane 1 week for the women. I had personal reasons to leave again, and then I came back for a day, and then we left again for the tennis. The women will travel again in April the 6th for the next set of matches, and then come back home for a match in Bermuda on the 12th.
Wow. Just busy.
And then the under 17 girls would travel at the end of April. And so, so as you can imagine, what is perfect, I guess, now is that we do have a lot of girls that are away in school. And so we have them away. They're getting, the professional mindset that we're looking for. We'd love to be able to, do more things in Bermuda. We're limited in the school systems that we have. And, we would love to have a football academy, in-house housing football in Bermuda, having to go school and then to football and things like that. That would be a dream that we can have. But, small steps.
I always had that dream too, to have a academy linked with football, and I've been looking at Sinasta's property for years. Actually, the perfect housing for
because as an athlete, as having the proper environment, we can give all the tools that we want to the players, but sometimes putting them in that environment, making it easy for them, so they know they're going to have these 3 square meals a day. They know they're going to have the proper training sessions. They're going to have the proper physiotherapists, doctors, and things on hand. Makes a big difference.
I can imagine.
It's definitely bittersweet when you watch your athlete leave and go to boarding school, because you're just like, yes, go spread your wings. And it's just like, wait, I have to now find new people.
Yeah.
But like you said, it kind of zones you in and focuses you in on what is necessary to get to that next level. So you said the 3 square meals, the in-between trainings, less distractions, because when you're stuck on island and your friends are going X, Y, and Z, and I want to go town too. What you mean you're going to? I can't go town? Oh, because I have training for 3 hours while my friends get to go and shop and hang out and play. So
And you know, and our coaches here, our National Academy coaches, do a phenomenal job on the training side and things like that. They make themselves available. You know, they're not full time, and that is something that we would also love, that our national coaches could be full time, so they can actually go around to the schools and do more scouting and do more things that can get our players ready. But they do what they can. So Nikita Robinson, Vance Brown, Aaron Dankins, and all the support staff that go with it, because it's not just the head coaches. They have, you know, support staff that help them also. They do their best in a part-time capacity, you know, and so that's another big ticket item that we would love to do, having full-time coaches.
That would be amazing. That definitely would be another dream, because I feel like when you're focused on it full time, there's, like I said, there's no distractions, so you can, you know, produce even more star athletes and, you know, continue to have Bermuda on the map. Because I feel like Bermuda football is definitely, people are watching Bermuda football. I can say that from just what I've seen online and just people talking about our athletes on the national stage and even in some of the international clubs they play for. So they're definitely getting a lot of attention. I want to bring in this audience question for you next. Sean Smith says, see, sorry if you already answered this, but he just turned in. What is the BFA's plan to sustain women's football? And he's a Zebra for life, so he's also a PHC fan. So when it comes to, you know, women's football, because we did talk about how before there was, you know, a full situation going on and then it dwindled away and now we're back. How are we going to get it to stay and never go away again?
Right. So like I said, we had to build from the bottom. We understood that we had to. Not everyone is going to go away to school. And you know what? And the ones that go away to school are coming back. And so once we feel that this bottom part is strong, it's going to continue to get stronger now. We have 36 youth teams, and each year we add on an age group. So when we first started, under 7s, under 9s, under 11s. The next year we added an under 13 league, and then the next year the under 15s, and now we're up to the under 17 league. And so it was just a natural progression. These girls are continuing to get older. Women, sorry, are continuing to get older. The ladies are now looking to come back in, and then we have to look at the timing of football. If we continue to try to compete with certain sports and not work with them, we're going to have trouble, because, you know, netball is it's a sport that women love to play also. So we have to think about the time frame. So now us shifting from, instead of happening during the normal football season, we're shifting now to May to July. It gives us a chance for all the women that are in college who come back for the summertime to have a chance to also play at home and showcase their skills. So having that, you know, we have to do the shift. We have to look at it. Are we going to, you know, some people say we should have the games the same time as the men's, but would that help if, you know, 50% or 60% of our players are overseas during that time? So shifting our mindsets to make it work.
I love that.
Yeah. So I hope you like this one. Now, what is your end? Stop, Terry. What is your end goal for your position as chair committee? Just you as a whole, are you going to stick to women's committee chair, or do you want to take it all over?
Yeah, I've said that before. I said, you know, I wouldn't mind being the first president, woman president on the Bermuda Football Association. It's nothing wrong with striving for that, achieving that. And so it will take, you know, learning the process, learning the programs, you know, and different things like that. It will be nice to see. I'm a representative now on the Caribbean Football Union's Women's Committee, and so just these steps that I've taken, I've done conferences for FIFA, workshops for FIFA, especially because of our women's program and what it's done. You know, they're looking at us and our website, and they see the support of Bermuda behind our girls' teams. They wanted to know, how does a country like Bermuda, you know, do what it does without having actual leagues at that time? So when we won the CONCACAF tournament in Sarasota in IMG Academy for the under 15 age group, and they realized that we didn't have leagues. How do you do that? And so my aspirations is to continue to go one further, continue to move up on the executive level of BFA. And when it comes to the time, be president.
I love that. If I'm there and I can vote, I'm voting. Check mark.
I'm gonna have my little legs.
You're so corny,
Yeah.
Jackie. It's great. It's great.
I mean, and like I said, it's we have other women on the executive, and things like that. And what I can say, Bermuda is unique. We have 3 women on our executive committee: Kim Richards, Shaquita Parsons, and myself. Most countries don't have any women. I've been to a women's conference in Morocco, and 95% of the people in the women's conference were men. And so Bermuda, as much as we think we're behind, we actually are ahead in some aspects. So we can have football in the schools for girls. Some countries can't. We have the ability to be able to play with the boys. Some girls play with the boys in the age groups that we don't have, girls' leagues. So yeah, we are ahead. Sometimes we think we're behind, but we are ahead of most countries when it comes to certain things in football.
I just want to bring this comment here from Sean Smith with your trajectory to becoming the first female president of the BFA. He says, take advantage of your zebra connection with the current president. Just putting that out there. And as we wrap up, Charryse, we talked about it often, that women can register individually or as a team, but can you let the audience know exactly where they can go to learn more information? And if they do want to sign up, if they have any other questions, how can they get in contact with the Women's Committee?
Yeah, so you can contact us by email at women@bermudafootball.com, or you can go on the Bermuda Football Association's website, and there's a link in there to contact myself or anyone in the association. If you contact women@bermudafootball.com, you will get a wide range of, you have my whole committee who sees the emails, and someone will jump on it and answer you as soon as they can.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on International Women's Day, and happy International Women's Day to you.
Happy International Women's Day to you too, also.
If you be the first president on International Women's Day, whenever that happened, I feel like that should be a national holiday.
Yeah, and Mark makes an excellent job right now. Some things, his shoulders are definitely strong and broad. And so I encourage everyone to come out on the 12th of April. We will be playing Grenada in Bermuda. Cross our fingers. A lot of things with the restrictions, special quarantine, vaccination, and things like that. So with the way everything's going, cross our fingers, you should see a home game back in Bermuda, and the women are excited. The girls, some girls have never seen it, have never seen the women play.
I'm excited as well. We look forward to it. Have a great day, Charryse, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. You too. Thanks, guys.
That conversation we're going to come back to right after this break. Jackie and I are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to get your thoughts on our conversation with Charryse Bean of the Bermuda Football Association. She is their women's chair, so make sure you drop your comments in the comment section. Jackie and I will be right back after this commercial break.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza's and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. We just wrapped up our conversation with the women's chair of the Bermuda Football Association, Charryse Bean. And Jackie, it's International Women's Day. That conversation was all vibes. What did you think about our comment with Charryse? What were your thoughts?
You said it was all vibes, to hear everything that all the work that they've put in to grow the sport.
I didn't realize it was a gradual process, which makes sense, right? When you think about building something. But I kind of came in, then it was already kind of flourishing. So I was like, hasn't this always been the thing?
No, it takes a lot. I know the amount of work that they've had to put in with the women, with not just the women, with the kids, with the parents, trying to organize, whether they have volunteers, whatever the case may be, kudos to everybody that was a part of that, because I know it doesn't take just one person. It definitely takes a team and leaders and people that are capable of delegating, because some people like to micromanage, and the fact that this is going through means that everybody played their part. So I, celebrate everyone.
Definitely. And this comment from Alshia, she says, well done, Charryse. Absolutely agree. Carlton Fleming says, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it is streamed. Now, see, the streaming situation, I feel like it could pop for the women because it probably won't be one as many games to like sort out the logistics for, but then also like we're just better.
I think they need to make it happen, and I hope that I am fast enough to get a ticket, because I know I feel like it's probably going to be limited due to restrictions, whatever, maybe, if that's even the case anymore. But I need to get like 10 tickets.
I don't buy 40 tickets, girl. But I feel like if the game is, I feel like wherever the game is, it will be streamed, because CONCACAF games are usually streamed, and I feel like this is a CONCACAF excuse me, situation. So I feel like at the very least it'll be streamed. I was more thinking about the women's league specifically, like if that would be streamed, I feel like that could be a vibe, because for those people that are overseas, it'll be great. But then I also don't want people on Ireland to not come out to games because it's streamed, because like that people will use that as an excuse.
Yes.
Not you, Jackie, not you, but
Oh, I forgot to ask my question. Are they going to have food at these games?
That was like your only question, Jackie. You had one job.
One question.
You had one job. You know what? That's even better. That just means we have to bring them back on before the season actually starts, because we've got time. After the match on the 12th, Jackie and I are going to watch it. We're going to look for our favorite number of players. We're going to sort that out. And then we're going to have a conversation with Charryse again. It's all right. It's all right. We'll have it back. It's okay, Jackie. We'll do it. It's fine. This comment from Aaron Lugo. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much to all of the women that are watching. Happy International Women's Day to you. Make sure you have an amazing day. We didn't do trivia today because I just was not ready for the trivia. And I wanted to talk more about this women's league with Charryse. So we definitely will bring back trivia time on Thursday. And we have some things that we're working on in the background. So we're going to hopefully be able to share that with you in the upcoming weeks. But Jack, I think we'll get to wrap up. How do you feel? You wanna stay? You wanna go? Like, what do you want to do?
We should just have a karaoke minute. I'm just shaking.
I was like, okay, I'm ready. What song should we sing?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is your idea?
I don't have a song. Oh,
all right.
At first I was afraid.
I was petrified.
I'm thinking I could never live without you by my side. Then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong.
What did you do?
Learn how to get along until you're back from outer space.
Oh yeah.
And I just hooked it. I can't get that.
That was your Feel-Good Vibe of the Day. Karaoke with Jacky and Terri. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza's Aliana's Restaurant. We trust that you have a great day. Thank you so much. Wait, where am I in my little spiel? Oh, I'm Terri Too Cool alongside Jackie Lambert. We hope to see you tomorrow for more Feel-Good conversations. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.